Check 1, check 2. There we go. Okay. My settings got jacked up in here for some reason. All right, so let me just finish cleaning up some stuff here. Oh, man. There. You there. This away. Andre, Maelstrom, Niam. There we go. Everybody's got me now. Got my Lima Charlie. I think we might work on the bear firmware a little bit tonight. I kind of want to try something. But for those of you who were not here yesterday, I did finish the bear build. Did run into quite a few issues, actually. Got through all of them except for firmware. So for some reason, this thing is being particularly picky when it comes with the firmware settings, and it is surprising. So kind of to sum things up, the bare firmware doesn't work, doesn't have the right settings for this. I tried several other ones that people recommended. They did not work. Huge mod job, what up? Abu Musa, hey, hey. So none of those worked. And then I tried another custom one, didn't work. So then I went ahead and put on the Mark III's clone firmware that lady had sent me, and she still has not replied back today. She replied to me earlier today, but that was like, what time did she reply? At 3 a.m. So maybe in the next like 6 hours she'll reply, Pauline, and hook me up with the source code of the firmware that she created for my clone. Was for her own clone. Actually, I think I might go ahead and build that tonight first before I start doing firmware. I need to put that back together so I can get it working again. But it's the firmware that she made for hers, and it works flawlessly with mine, which is great. And that firmware works with the bear, but it fails calibration because the bear has a wider X than the original Prusa does. So I'm waiting for a source code from her so I can make that work, hopefully. Mark, what's up, dude? Hey, Brandon. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this back together so that I can get this printer back into service, and we'll kind of go from there. If anybody has any questions on anything, you can absolutely feel free to ask while I work on some of my things here. Because of the Z offset. Ah, okay, Brandon. Again, I wasn't sure. I thought it was because of the it also runs lower. Ah, okay. Well, I still can't get X to run properly. I might try it one more time with her firmware again, just to see what happens. I'm curious if I can get the X and Y to at least work. But it did home like straight away using her firmware, which I was like blown away by. I didn't think it was going to work that well. But sure shooting, it did. But now it's the tedious task of putting this other printer back together. It's not that tedious of a task. It was more of a pain to get to the bear because just the way that it is put in there, and I guess I made my cables nice and tidy. It made it really hard to get in there and pull the old stuff out, put the new one in and whatnot. So I'm going to get this back together and working. This printer actually needs a new nozzle. Oh, I'm sorry, not a new nozzle. It needs a What does it need? It needs a new throat, because the throat on it is being quite stringy. And I've noticed that with some of the cheap throats that I've been using, they are just straight up garbage for the direct drive extruder, or direct drive hot ends. They work well with Bowden's, but for some reason, these cheap all metal ones just don't work well at all with the direct drive here. It's just so weird that this is acting so odd on me. Again, this is using bottom of the barrel, cheapest motors I could buy at the time. Or actually, they might have actually come off of other printers, to be honest. And it's just, yeah, like super duper cheap stuff. I was very surprised that they're not performing better, because they perform better on other machines. And I said before, but in fact, these the motors that are on the Bear were on Megatron before without a problem. Again, I only swapped those out because LDO sponsored the project and sent me theirs. Here. Okay, and then two Z motors need to get in here. And at the end of the day, I hope I put all these the right places so that this thing will work again. That one. Okay. All right, now we've got the hot end stuff. So we've got the heater. We've got the extruder motor. We have, I'm not gonna remember how those go, so I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. This fan goes here. Then the thermistor goes here. Then I've got this other fan goes here. I have filament sensor. I don't remember how that one plugs in there, to be honest. That probe goes there. Yeah, I gotta look that up real quick. I can't remember the orientation of the filament sensor. I need to like save the picture of this wiring one. Yeah, I heard you say that the other day, Naim, in the Facebook group or the Discord. I just haven't tried them yet. I honestly speaking, the PTFE line ones are perfectly fine for most everything that I do. White goes on the far side. I only need an all metal in like 2 machines when I do anything that's like high temp, which is really not that often. That's the only benefit you get is doing high temp filament. Which, I mean, also for other people, I mean, like 99% of 3D printers, peoples don't need an all metal hot end. It's nice to have, but in no way, shape, or form is it required to get good 3D prints. Not at all. Even, I believe it's, what's called E3D will tell you not to use an all metal for just PLA. If that's all you do is PLA prints, it's worthless because some PLA will get gummed up in a all metal hot end in the throat. which is why some people run Oilers. All right. Never was a fan of how like they do like their snap-in design of the electronics box. I'm still not a fan of it. I like the way the bear does it. Maybe one day Prusa will change that up. Okay. Electronics in there. That's still not in all the way. It is good enough. And I knew I dropped that screw here somewhere. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. There we go. I knew I dropped that somewhere. We just boot this up real quick. Make sure it works okay. A quick surgery. Well, yeah, I guess because I reflashed this, I got to redo the thing on it. I think I put those fans in the wrong spots. Did. All right, we'll have to do that in a minute. All right. What? Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Zolan. Appreciate it, bud. Propane would have been full of sweat. It's all my sweat and tears, man. Blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, again, so this thing is using the cheapest motors and parts that I could find when I built it, what, a year and a half ago now. It's been a hot minute since I made it. So, do I have another power cord? I do. Well, that runs. Again, I know this fails, so I want to just get this here turned on to get it connected to the computer, which, oh, the cable's not long enough to go that way. Come on, there we go. So like that there. Turn it on. Oh, looking for a pre-slicer. There we go. Flash firmware. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put my clone one on this again. Printer Arduino, Prusa i3 clone, and flash. This is working on the heated bed. And I kind of forgot that once you reflash your firmware, you gotta, I've flashed several versions onto that thing. Probably should clean up some of this excess grease in those bearings. I did clean up this printer not long ago, and I guess I haven't run the Z all the way to the top since I did that, and the Z just ran to the top, and we've got a lot of extra grease on these rods. Don't need that much. Step over. Here we go. All right, Andre. I don't know if the time will be too long. It takes approximately 12 minutes to run X, Y, and Z calibration. Jeez Louise. So we'll see how this guy here is going to play. Oh, I need that on here. Yes. Oh my God, kids. Am I using Octoprint in any of my printers? Yes, I am, Gear, sorry. So both my Prusa Mark III-S, so that one, and Megatron also now runs Octoprint. And so the reason why I have the Mark III-S that has it is it's running the Canvas Hub plugin and is connected to the Palette 2S Pro, so that I can just slice something in Canvas, directly send it to the Pi, and it starts to print. It's much easier than downloading the files from Canvas, putting onto 2 different SD cards, putting the 2 SD cards in. It's a big pain in the butt. And the reason why I did it for Megatron is because just to make printing easier, it's one of my go-to printers now. Yeah, see, and this thing homes so nicely with her firmware. Yes, I mean, sorry, it's a little hard to see that way, but it's telling me to recheck the x-axis length. So that also makes you wonder that there's something wrong. Why is that not the proper length? But it homes right with her firmware. It's just being a pain. Why is it being such a pain? So I want to just verify here, what is the, where's that? Here it is. So that's going to, I want to do the belt check on this. In the calibration. Yeah, the calibration. Oh, it doesn't have it on. Okay, this older version of firmware doesn't have the belt checker. So maybe let's check the pulley. This pulley looks good here. Maybe we'll give it a little more space. Yeah. That's not going to work because that didn't home X right. I mean, the only thing I think I could do is maybe re-grease those. I guess I could do that now. I don't really have. I've already got the access all the way up there. Shouldn't be too hard to remove that, right? Let's go for it. Let's re-grease those bearings. Hmm. Coming off. Place the steel sheet on. I'm trying to multitask here. Okay, fine. We're just going to do that. Come on. Still don't want to come off, do they? Fine. Be that way. All right, well, that one is just about done. Needs me to load some filament in there in a minute so it can finish its calibration shenanigans. Now, for this guy, then I should be able to power you up first. Take that off. Okay. Hey, Jerry. Hey, dude, I got your message on Facebook. Sorry, I've not replied yet. I've just been today. We had some running around to do, and we've been a little busy with that. But I will 100% reply to you tonight before I go to bed. And if you want to do a test stream tonight, I can accommodate that after I do my stream here. Insert PLA. I need some PLA to insert. Smells warm. I'll take. Oh, this roll's not even spooled on. Nice. Filament. That load. Take that up before I break another cable. Yeah, I just really don't like the non-hammered T-nuts. All right, so that's going to do first layer wizard here in a second. We need to pay attention to that. All right, 1 second, guys. Almost there. That looks pretty good right there. So we need to loosen up the heat bed. No, I do not. All is done. Happy printing. And just like that, we are back in business on my Mark III's clone. And for anybody who was not here last night, the reason why I had to do all that is because I took the NZ board out of the clone here. I put it here into the DIY Bear just to rule out that this. I mean, these are clone NZ boards I'm using because they're half the price of a real one. I wanted to make sure that it was not the board problem. because someone had mentioned that they had issues with theirs. Ah, there we go. So, can I get this off easily enough? Okay, that side's coming off. I want this side to come off. I guess that works, right? Mm. So I'm wondering if I should just go ahead and switch to the IKO bearings for these. Now these are great Ziltech bearings that I had on there. And the reason why I say they're great is because other people that have had issues have ordered these bearings and they've worked just fine. And I am going to use them, but I don't have the packer, but I'll just pack it myself. I need to print that out again. I used to have one and I don't anymore. So I can do it myself. I just got to get out 2 other rods real quick. Ten mil. I think I still have some 8 mils here. One. Yeah, 2 short ones. 6. It's 6 or an 8. That's an 8. Oh, there they are. Okay. Oh. So I'm going to keep with the Ziltech bearings. We're just going to pack them. Ooh, watch out. We need to get some paper towels on the ready. I'm still waiting for a sponsorship, Pepsi. If anyone from Pepsi is still or ever going to watch my stream, you know how epic that would be to get like someone like Pepsi to sponsor 3D printing. But stop, stop. Hey Eduardo, no. So wasn't able to fix it. It homes just fine using my clone firmware. I'm waiting to get the source code for that firmware from Pauline. She told me that she would send it to me when I talked to her, but I have not heard back from her yet with those files. I did have, I think it was a name. He went by Jack here on. I know, fix it, Dad. It's friggin' 9:30 at night. My kid's supposed to be in bed, and they're coming bring me stuff. Can you fix this, Dad? Um, but yeah. Anyways, so my firmware is kind of working, but it's still giving me an x-axis problem. So I am just going to pack these bearings. Of course, I get it all over myself. Stay on target. Okay. Please don't fall and make a mess. Where's that piece at? Yeah, it's always messy. I'll still get more to squeeze out once I get it on the printer, but at least I'll get most of it off of here. Okay, there's one down. One paper towel down. They were smooth before, Brandon. But yes, they are smooth. I'm gonna do another again once. I just want to get them packed, and then I'll do the test on just a rod once I get most of the excess grease out of these. Go scrub the living crap out of my hands because they're gonna be all greasy. And I'm kind of doing this as a ditch effort to see if this solves the issues. That will do ya. Jim, what's up? Okay. Can clean these off. Now, oh, you're still working on that, Jim. How's it going so far? That one is good. 2. So Relics has any performance issues? No. I mean, I can print something on my clone Mark 3S, and I can print something on my original Mark 3S, post the picture, and I mean, unless you're someone who's amazing, I doubt anybody would be able to tell the difference between the two printers. I mean, aside from me using clone parts, the exact same printer. I mean, the Prusa firmware is optimized for certain things. It is a pain in the butt. But bed weighs about 40 pounds. Holy good gravy. Laser fuse XY parts making machines. Jim, are you building something as big as, do you know 3D printing Viking? The Moliere? I don't know. It's something Icelandic or Norwegian or something that he's building. His build plate is like, what was it? It's like 3.5 feet. It was right around a yard/meter. Is insane sized. So just that off there. Put you into your spot. Come on. This side in there. Slide these two on. This one's feeling a little on the rough side. A little bit. Okay. Whoops, of course I did that. Messy, messy, messy. The Knack 3D Designs is here. What is up, dude? Hope you're doing well on this Saturday evening. While I try and figure out what in God's name I'm doing with my life. Come on. Come on. Come on, Lee. Okay. Get in there. Here's the $1,000,000 question. What's that measurement supposed to be? Make sure. it's going the right way. Feature request to Marlin. Look at you, man. Is that feature request that you want, or are you making features? I mean, because you're kind of a god when it comes to certain printing, so I wouldn't be surprised. And like 308 millimeters. That should be right, right? Oh, let's see here. Ah, features you want added. Gotcha, gotcha. Doesn't know what the length's supposed to be. It's measuring 308. I don't want to measure it actually built the thing right. Oh, a ABL to the y-axis. So I guess when you do the belt, is it just like probe like 1, 2, 3, like just go straight in a line, right? Because you don't really have any other ability to do that, right? Dude, you're gonna get monetization super easy with that video. I'm sure that is getting more views than anything else. I wouldn't be surprised if that hits like at least 50 to 100,000 and no problem. So Jim, I'm wondering if because I printed these in polycarbonate, if that is causing an issue. Um, I'm gonna put IGES on there. I mean, I have them, but let's see. Start your first octoprint. There you go. Gotta start somewhere. All right, let's see if we can get this pushed back in here. Because this was incredibly hard the first time around. Still hard now. Bigger flathead here. Yeah, these polycarbonate parts are a little tight in some places. And again, I am wondering if that is my issue. I do have some I do have some carbon fiber PETG coming. Get in there. Come on. Yeah, where this belt goes in, it's just soup's tight. This polycarbonate. That'd be cool to make a carbon fiber polycarbonate printer, but kind of regretting it a little bit. Okay, that's in all the way. Now we can put these block covers bearing parts on. That away. Where is my other screwdriver at? Oh, that's on the floor. I dropped it, as usual. Multiple printers from a single Octoprint. I do not. I only have two. I do it kind of just to like stay familiar with the program. Me using Octoprint just doesn't make a lot of sense. All of my printers are in this room, and I can move an SD card from me to it from my main PC, which I'm streaming from, to those without a problem. So having it just is silly for me. Okay. Okay. Let's get this sucker going here. There. There. Oh man. There you are. And there you are. We lined up. Here we are. Okay. Cable holder doohickey back here. Okay. Cables pushed in, which really don't actually go in at all in the back. Okay. We can retighten this now. Okay. Put these top things on, which is going to take a second. Okay, see if we can get this to work easily enough. These things I really don't like these type of parts. They make it really hard to actually do anything. That, and then tilt it back. Another one of these. Okay, that's one. Then this. This side here, which has a big old one in the way. My reverse Bowden tube is in the way. Where's the bolt? Where's the bolt? Okay. Okay, well, that being that, I think we can give it the old college try again. Not really expecting this to finish, but it's worth a shot. Just my first print should be sure gear once I get this thing ever working here. Wash my hands here in a minute. They're still a little greasy. Oh. You see it moves nicely. Yeah, but it's telling me my length is wrong. So that has me a little concerned. I mean, I'm not bumping anything anywhere else that would stop it. So I guess this one does pass. Can I be able to get the measurement though? That's the problem here. Subtract 42. That's not going to work out. That's another way I could do it. We could do it this way here. So this way I'm looking at 3. 310, 311 it looks like, or no, 306, 307. This looks to be exactly the same, but I don't know why it's airing out on the length. I've made sure that the pulley is correct. So Jack, this is Pauline's firmware. But right now I'm getting it's failing the x-axis test. So if I do calibration, but it doesn't always home X because it doesn't know the lengths. So I can't do the wizard. Let's see if auto home works. Oh. So we'll run again. And it does home, but again, it's giving me an x-axis length. And I'm trying to see the Prusa guide. It's saying is that the pulley might be wrong. Better keep my cool. Do the college tries and play beer pong. Always. Knack, the Jack D, he is my Prusa firmware guru, as he's helping me try to get this thing going. So again, now it's going to check X. It's hitting each side. Okay. And it's getting me the axis length, axis X. It's not liking the length of this axis for some reason. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I don't know what's wrong. There's no zip ties on it. There's no zip ties back here. I mean, and it's far from it. Here, let me. I mean, I don't have it done yet, but I mean, there's a whole finger space between here. And the other side, again, there's a whole finger space between right here. It's a whole finger space here. So it's definitely not hitting there. There is a zip tie here on the front for the ABL. That's not hitting. Fan's not hitting there. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is it's my polycarbonate parts being weird. I'm guessing they're point. No, I have no idea what steppers are. They're whatever the FISEC steppers are for the MK3. So they shouldn't be a problem. Teeth on the thing in the motor is equal to the original, right? Yeah, they're 20-tooth pulleys. Actually, wait a second. Hold up. They're 16-tooth pulleys. Aren't they? Yeah, they're supposed to be 16-tooth pulleys, not 20-tooth pulleys. I've got two right here. Because I'm looking at my clone, I'm like, man, those pulleys look tiny. Why do they look so small? But you're using the wrong one, Shane. That's a 100%. My bad. I screwed that one up. So since I'm already to take that off, I'm going to put back on my black motors because they look muito sexier. Well, I mean, it's a partial easy fix. It's easy in the fact that I know what the problem is. It's not easy in the fact is that I still don't have Pauline's awesome firmware to be able to make them function right. Wow, and the grub screws on these are tiny. Here, let me get, where's my little one? Here it is. I did figure it out, didn't I? I am awesome. This is also why you don't troubleshoot printers until 1 o'clock in the morning. You take a break, you walk away, you sleep, and then we come back and we become rock stars. Okay. So that takes care of X. Now Y is the bane of my existence because it is so freaking hard to get to this motor mount. But the iFixit kit did help a lot last night, so we're going to go right to the iFixit kit. DIY stew is a I mean, yeah, it's definitely a decent upgrade if you want that. Knack, see, I think that's why so many people are now building the SKR bears. The bear frame is awesome, and the Prusa hardware is awesome. It's just their board. I mean, granted, it is also an older 8-bit board using 2130s, but I mean, it's just so much cheaper and easier to throw an SKR on. That's why I went with an SKR for Megatron. It's just so much easier to do and see and use, and why use anything else? SKRs don't have the greatest track record. That one's loose. There we go. And I do need to, I will need to mess with the, what's it called for these? What's it called? I can't think of what I'm trying to talk about now. Oh, the wiring. I got to redo the wiring on these again. Since these motors had different wire layout. Okay. Where? Oh, it's still in there. Yeah, I get it. It's just SKRs are just so much better, and MKS is getting there. Okay, so there's that done then. Now let's go into here and switch up some of the wiring, mainly on X. I know is a problem. And I had to switch the middle two wires on this one. The same motor, it's just E, and E worked out just fine. And E is blue, red, green, black. Blue, red, green, black. Come on. Okay, let's plug this in and test the motor. I'm going to test X, make sure it moves the right way. Whew, I need a drink after that one. I'm going back to my original motors, which are black, like this one here. I had these other motors that I put on yesterday. I just don't like the look. I want this to be pretty much a blacked out build as much as I can. I'm just going to go down to settings, move axis, X, and it moves. Okay. Check Y. Y is not going to move. Yeah. I need to switch the middle two for Y and then flip the connector because this motor runs the opposite way. Red, green, black. Come on. Okay, then we have black going up. Oh no, blue going up. Come on. Blue goes up. Okay, let's make sure that the Y moves now. I ordered new glasses because these ones are like so beat up. Okay, go to settings, move axis, move Y. Okay, all I gotta do is flip it because it's backwards. Okay, let's close electronics. Secure the box. Okay, now let's run the configuration wizard and see what happens. Well, Andre, I just published a thing. If you look me up on Twitter, I published him. I'll show you here in a second once I get this started here. So finished Megatron is, that camera can't see. Let's go to this one here. So right there is finished Megatron. And it's kind of hard to see from here, but it's the best I can do right now. But I did publish the things on Thingiverse. So if anybody wants to make Megatron, the stuff's on Thingiverse to do so. I just have to finish putting together the BOM. I have it mostly done, but I need to add a couple things to it. It passed. Oh my God, it passed. Come on, Z-axis. I think it's a little crooked. That's why it's kind of jumping a little bit. Celebrating home. Yeah, we're still having a little bit of an issue. It's not going quite all the way over. All right. Yeah, we're still having a little bit of issues on homing on X, so I think I just need to have her make those motors a little bit more stronger. Oh yeah, knack for your build. Yeah, I forgot because you're doing the belt bear printer. You're calling it the belt bear, right? Yeah, belt bear. You said up there higher. Bed's heating up. Oh, goodness gracious me. Sorry, Andre. I mean, usually Brandon and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and remove Nightbot real quick. I mean, Brandon and Aaron are usually here, so Jack, no, he's doing a Y belt printer. Rating Z. Top chatter, Jim Stellers. Jim, are you here? Said you're the top chatter, my friend. Um, Nozzle's clean. No still sheet on the bed. All right, go ahead and do your thing. Celebration failed. Yeah, still having just a smidgen of a hard time homing. It was just fine. So this is where it failed before. It just went all the way down to like fail. Wondering if my cable came undone for the probe because probe is on right now and it shouldn't be. What's the right spot? Brandon, I know it's not going to work because the bare firmware doesn't have enough power on the motors. Yeah, see, it has trouble homing. When it does the calibration, I think it sets the motors differently or something because auto home does not work. But when you do the calibration, where you just tell the motor to move, it just moves. I think I just need a little more beefiness to these motors. But it kind of makes you want to try, what's his name's firmware again, Jack. I'm going to throw one of your firmwares on here again, buddy, and see what happens. There it is, okay. Gyre, you need to run, if you're going to go ahead and do silk, you need to run it a fair bit hotter. At least 10C hotter for silk PLA over your standard PLA settings. Wait, I'm gonna have me a Snickers. Yeah, go like 220 or 225 for silk. Garrett, I would say go ahead and do a temp tower for that, but definitely 10C is probably where it's going to be for you. Let's try this again. Silk PLA is fine, Brandon, if you get it to print the right settings. See, that time it didn't do it. It won't do it with the other firmware. Yep, sorry, Jack. Not sure too. How many printers do I have? Lots. Let me check my email again to see if she sent it over. One solutions. Still nothing from her. Might just have to wait until she gives me the source on this. Again, I'm not a firmware guru in any way, shape, or form. I ride fully on the backs of giants when it comes to firmware. And people on the Discord have taught me a ton about firmwares. And I have learned a ton by messing with it. But this Prusa firmware is a whole different deal. The way they do their calculations and everything like that. I mean, even people who know what they're doing are having a hard time with it. Prusa, you got to make it difficult. Can't just be standard about it. You got to make it the Prusa standard. They knock him because he's better than me. Okay, well, the Mark III's clone is back in its proper home on the shelf, ready to print. Got to get this sucker going now, which is probably not going to be tonight. So it's sad, but you know what? You can't solve everything all the time. I was really stoked to use these 20-tooth pulleys because they're black. Like, that's awesome. Like, they're nice and stealthy. Throw them in the big bin of pulleys. And I actually have, those are my last two 16-tooth pulleys on there. And thankfully, I don't need to care about that because Megatron and the subsequent printers that I'm making use 20-tooth pulleys. I don't know why you would use 16-tooth. I honestly don't. Maybe there's some advantage, but I, for the life of me, do not understand why anyone would go with 16-tooth pulleys unless you had like a small space to fill or something like that. But I mean, you got to mount a motor. What does an extra couple millimeters really matter? That's all right, Andre. I got plenty of other printers that I need to put them on. Prusa Math like 16s, yeah. I don't know of any other printer that I have that uses 16 tooth. Aside from the Prusas. But we're so close on this. So freaking close. But it's good to know that it's 100% firmware related with my motors. If I have to go and buy LDOs for this, I will. I'd prefer not to though, because again, I'm trying to make this a DIY bear. How cheap can I make a Prusa clone bear? That's the whole point of this project. And if it ends up coming down to if I need to buy LDOs, then that's gonna suck. And LDO just sponsored a project, so I highly doubt they're going to sponsor a second one right away. It would be cool though, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, here. Oh, vey, yep. Well, I really wish I could have got that done today, or at least figured out a firmware thing with it. These goals. Never hurts to ask. You know what? You're right. I can ask my buddy on Twitter, see if he want to do another one. But I'd like to figure this out this way first and see if it works. Yeah, need to figure out what's going on with that. So Rolex is asking, what am I at the cost for this build? some parts are expensive. That's the whole thing. So I mean, the Prusa bed and plate alone come in at I think 90. Then it's 75 for the board, 50 for the Prusa style power supply, fans. So it's probably like 100, 35, 25. Probably in the range about 350. The one thing I'm cutting a lot of my cost is all these motors came off of another build. This extrusion used to be a Alphawise U10, so the old school crummy gigantic U10 that GearBest made, because Alphawise is GearBest brand. That thing sucked. I couldn't ever get to upgrade or anything to work on it. It just blah. So I literally cut the frame down to make the 2040 for this frame. And I'm reusing a lot of the parts from it. So I would have to say, if you were to buy the extrusion yourself, you could do this for probably under 400. Yes, that's also in the Prusa power supply. You have the emergency power. So I wanted that feature. I think you can do that on an SKR 1.4 now. They have a module that you can add in order to do that. I have not tried that yet. I have a 1.4 coming, but it does not have that module. It might be something to try out later. Maybe I could have emergency power off for Megatron. That'd be pretty cool to add. But yeah, so I'd say you're in right around 400 or a little shot south of that for everything. Yeah, right around 400 bucks. So that puts you 350 less than buying a Prusa, and that puts you like just buying a straight Prusa, and then that puts you like what, $500 less than buying a Prusa and then buying a Bear kit and then converting it. So the goal I'm trying to see is, okay, can I make this A, cheaper, and B, will it work as well? And I wanted to have like the Prusa things. Like I wanted to have emergency power off. I wanted to have the auto bed leveling. I wanted to have the filament runout sensor with the auto load and all that jazz. Like they have a lot of brain work that goes into their design and their Marlin for the NZ board. I just wish I could do the same things with an SKR, but you can't do all of them, which is sad, but true. Not anymore, Maelstrom. The frame is here, dude. The extrusions are like 600 millimeters long, and I cut them all down. Knack, yeah, my place is a little tight. I have gotten rid of a few printers though lately, trying to reduce my numbers, and I am getting a little more space back on the shelves, but I'm doing more custom builds like this, so a lot of that space is getting filled up with new printers, just not ones from a vendor. Again, Banggood contacted me. They want to start cooperating again. I said, sure, this is what I want. Hook me up. If they don't give me the printer I want, after talking to the guys in Discord, I'm gonna ask for a ANET A8 Plus because it's a pretty good platform, and I want to build it and I want to do some benchmarking on it and see how it is. And then I want to modify it. So I want to put a Bear direct drive extruder on it, and I might even switch out and put an SKR on it instead, an SKR 1.3 on there to compare the two. Because I want to see, okay, how does a $200 printer come out of the box? A large format. It's the largest printer you can buy for the money. It's 300 by 300 by 350. So it's the largest printer you can get for 200 bucks. And then if I put in, what's that? $100 into it more, how much better can it become? So I'm very curious on how that would go. Melton, do you have a U10? If you do, cut it down for parts. Through Thingiverse. That's interesting, Nick. I used to work with them, and they kind of went silent for a while, and now they're coming back. So it's interesting because like through my affiliate panel, I can see how much money that they've made through my links. And they've made over $20,000 through the people buying stuff with my links. And I'm like, hey, like you've made a killing off of the 3 printers you've ever sent me. Clearly you can make some money from what I'm doing, so hook me up with some printers so I can test them out and you guys can make more money. So ANET E12 converted to a linear Grizzly. Oh, it's interesting because the ANET E12 was garbage when it came out from what I saw. I never had one, but everything I saw, it was just bad. I've bought from Banggood before. I buy a lot. I've actually, Banggood has a really good selection. If you're into drones or any type of RC, they actually have a huge selection of RC stuff that's really, really affordable. I mean, it's really reasonable priced. They ship way faster than AliExpress. So when I was playing with drones more a couple years ago, I bought my headsets and I bought a couple Tinker drones from there, and I've got some FPV modules and some radios, receivers. I got the little recorder for the FPV goggles, so I could actually record my flights through the FPV. But Banggood's really good if you like RC stuff. Maelstrom, yeah. So what I tried putting a Titan on it, and I tried putting a larger extruder on it or a larger hot end nozzle. I just couldn't get it to work that well. I put a V6 on there, and just it was taking more time than I wanted to invest in it. I do really want to have a 400 by 400 bed printer, like hardcore. Really want one. I don't know if I'm gonna have to end up building one myself or not. So the largest one I'm going to have after all is said and done is going to be the BLV, coming at 342 millimeters by 342 millimeters. That's how big the build volume that's going to be. It's going to be the largest one I have. The only other three large machines I have is the FT5, the Artillery X1, and my old CR10S, old trusty up here. They all still work and print. Pretty much. But the CR10S and the Bouldershake FT5 both still have a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. The Artillery has a 0.6, so I can print bigger stuff on that one. Oh yeah, there are tons of people that buy and don't use affiliate links, which is fine. I mean, they still get the sales, but if people use the links, obviously they get to see. The biggest thing is that it's not even the amount of money I get because there's not really not that much money. It's more so they see people shopping because they saw my video like, hey, okay, I'll click his link. I don't want that printer, but you know what? I like that little thing or a phone or whatever it is. And they use the affiliate links to buy other things than printers. So it goes a long way. Buy a 508 millimeter bed, we can build it together. I have the extrusion to do a near 500 cube printer. I have nowhere to build that here. It's been my dream to build a very, very large Core XY. And I think if the BLV goes well and it works well, when I move next summer, 100%, I think I'll have a place big enough to have a little larger office and I'll have a little more space to work in. And if I do, I will build a 500 cube printer once I get all these ones done. Because again, as I said a lot of times, and I say this every time, patrons drive my channel. YouTube revenue sucks. I mean, getting barely some months $100, some months 200 if it's really good, and 9 times out of 10 if I break 200, it's because people have sent me a super chat, which come once every couple months someone sends a super chat, and that ends up spiking up that amount. So the program for you making money on YouTube is just not there. It's all through affiliate links and where I can get money from other places or from Patreon. Now, Patreon makes less than YouTube does, but it is consistent on how much I make on there. And I can say, okay, the BLV cost me $1,000. That's going to be 10 months of Patreon or 4 months of Patreon and 4 months of YouTube together. So in 4 months, I can make money to build that project. And the whole reason why I have the channel and I have affiliate links and I have Patreon and stuff like that is because I want to do projects, but I also like to try and break even or not be out of pocket hundreds or thousands of dollars just to make videos for no one to watch, because it's obviously pointless. So there is a mix and a method to a lot of people on why they do things. And for me, I will keep building custom printers. I will keep building random ones I find online. I'd love to do a Voron one day. But again, I'm not building them for me. I'm building them to make content to show people. And that's why I do it. I think it's fun to tinker, but I do not have a complete disposable income to do it though. So that's, I mean, but I really do enjoy it. And as long as people will support me in any of those ways, I will continue to bear the brunt, literally bear the brunt of trying to get this thing to freaking work. But I will figure it out and people will help me. Again, people have been awesome in the Discord, chiming in and saying, hey, I'm good with firmware. Let me hook you up with some and see if that works. But I don't see people doing kind of what I'm doing here. There's Brandon. Thanks, dude. Now Brandon's a patron, so I'm double dipping off Brandon right now. So yeah, again, I'll keep making fun projects. I mean, getting filament's not really the problem anymore. I've got so many people wanting to send me filament. It's more of trying to get the money for the hardware, motors, having sponsors like LDO hop in every now and then. Well, once so far. If they're like, hey, every new printer you want to do, great. Big Tree Tech reached out to me. I was like, hey, we want to hook you up. But guess what? Have they come back? No. They said they want to do it, and then they're like deuces and haven't said anything back to me. I sent an email again the other day, like, hey, you told me you want to work out a month ago. Still haven't heard back from you. 500mm tool changer. That would be insane. See, I like the tool changer, but that would need to be like my one and only project to like work on. Because that's why I got rid of some other things. Like that's why I got rid of the MMU2. It's super cool. I don't have time to dedicate like weeks and weeks into doing that. Jason's the one I talked to, Brandon. So he's the one that sent me the motors for Megatron. Jim, that's awesome. Like, I wonder if so I know the what's his name? Ben Levi. So he's the BLV guy who created the MGN Cube. He's looking to get metal parts made in China. I think they're down to like, I think they originally quoted him like $140. He's like, no, like you need to make it cheaper now. I think they were trying to do $90 for all the metal parts for the MGN Cube, which would be pretty, not too bad. I mean, it's quite a lot of parts. Yeah, Jim, you should pass me your info in like Discord or something like that, or shoot me an email. Because if I ever do a project that I need to get something made, I'd love to hit you up. The 713 maker guy, there's a hair on my face somewhere. Matthew White from 713 Maker, super cool dude, but he is just understaffed, I think, with the amount of work that he has inherited from like the FT5 project, and he makes a ton of stuff for CNCs. But I would love to get some other things made and having somebody else. Indiana, America. Yeah, you should hit me up either on Discord or shoot me an email or Twitter or something like that. Because if something comes up, I'd love to be able to hit you up about it. If you wouldn't mind. Oh, Knack, I just saw up there at the top. You said you have the first ever 500 by 500 Buildtech flex plate system. I have a 200 Buildtech flex plate system, and I wanted to, let me get this off the table. Put you down here. Your home will eventually be. And let's grab this guy here. So here is Master Crane, and I'm trying to add some ABL to it. So Aaron gave me some, where are we going? He gave me some tips on where to mount my ABL sensor. And it's actually on the back of my fan shroud right here. You can see it's there. The problem is that inductive sensors don't sense magnetic build sheath, which we both kind of thought they did. And it does not. So it doesn't trigger to magnetic sheets. But it does trigger to this flex plate system from BuildTech that I've had forever. Only problem is the build size of it is enormous. And look at the difference there. And the printer doesn't go that big. So, I mean, I might be able to capitalize on some of it. So my only concern is with the heat transfer into the flex plate system. That's my only concern. And I mean, I have this, I just haven't used it ever. You know, it's just making sure heat transfers through this well. I don't know if anybody else has used this before, but I mean, this thing already has a time heating up as it is. I don't know if I should just throw this on there or not. Because it, I mean, obviously would not be fully supported because the bed's not that big. So it would be kind of like that. Kind of like that there. So this nozzle would be over it here. And then over here, we still got some more. So it would definitely reach all the way out there. And I would be able to get to all of the Y. Actually make my Y a little bit bigger. Again, I'm just concerned with it not being supported on the outside there. I don't know if anybody's ever done that before. I mean, do you guys think having that unsupported would be a problem? I mean, it's pretty stiff. You know, as we say in the dad lingo, that ain't going nowhere. I'm just unsure. Well, my bed does have some wobble to it. Well, it's more this way. It's not this way, but it's just that way. Oh, Aaron said in Discord he couldn't make it today. Well, yeah, I won't know until I try, but the problem is I don't want to waste the adhesive back because once it's adhered to it, that's it. I mean, although it does hold on fairly well like this. Well, we got some time tonight. Let's see what happens. And then there's a dude that published a video on how to get Marlin to fit, like how to shrink Marlin down so it fits on a smaller ROM. And it's a pretty cool video. I have not tried it yet. Apparently Aaron did. And he got filament run out and auto bed leveling sorted out on his printer. We're both using the same board because it's the cheapest 32-bit board you can buy. bed. Let's see if level bed works. It's doing its thing. I'm doing this as a 5x5 grid. So it's going to take a hot second. And the sensor's way too low. I put it low so that I know the nozzle wouldn't hit. So I kind of just need to make sure that it actually all works. Well, I wonder if that last probe is going to be off the bed. Oh no, that's it right there. I probably can make that border a little bit less. That's pretty hefty right there. Robert Avery, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Hey, Darren. This is not the first. I mean, I'm not printing. I'm just running a bed level. I just want to see how it works with this flex plate system on there. Does work. Hmm. All right, let's see if I can raise this sucker up a bit. Well, that works. Let's see how it works for a print. Let's try something simple. So Andre, it's already level. I know that because I've already leveled it. Also, another way to do it is just to measure. But yeah, you can do it with the screws, but I try to make sure that it's level without the ABL first, especially on a very cheap build like this, and then use the ABL to figure out any distances there. How much tolerance is there with the auto bed level? I think it's like 3 to 6 or like 0 to 6 millimeters. Like the sensing distance is 3 to 6 millimeters. I think it is. Yeah, the bed alone, Brandon, is like $50 on pretty much anywhere else. So let's do that. Fruit slicer. Let's do this. Let's go with the extra crane. And most sensors can do up to 6 mil or like 5, something like that. Well, we'll just add a shape in here. Box. Make it 40. Of course, Bruce Slasher crashed. Crashed a crane. It crashed again. Huh. So this is the sensor I'm using on this is the Triangle Labs little one. So this one is meant to be just because it's 5 volts, you can put it onto just the ZN stop and it gets enough voltage from that, where some of the bigger induction or capacitive sensors require 12 volts. So you have to use an opto coupler in order to get those to work. But this one is specifically made by Triangle Labs to be able to bolt onto an Ender 3 and just go into the ZN stop, and that's you're done. I mean, obviously change the firmware, but it's like super duper simple to install them, and they're cheap. I think it was like $3. So you can add ABL to your Ender 3 for $3 and one 3D printed part. Can't really do that. Yeah, 500 by 500. You're definitely only doing ABL on that. Shape box. Nice, keep crashing. I think it's the bed image is being weird. Had this happened before. Crucial Slicer just is being super janky today. Here, let's go to Master Crane. Both of those for now. Let's try this again without that. Oh wait, I need to add the G29. See how that goes. Wait, I can't do that yet. I need to do the Z offset. And I want to use this filament. My other extension at, here we go. So we need to get Pronter face up. Yep, okay, that's working. Okay, to chop them at 10 p.m. Well, if you don't have any kids sleeping, by all means, and knock yourself out. All right, so we've got that. Turn that back off. And we'll use that filament in a minute. All right, so then G1Z0. So we need to go a little more down. So we need to do the, what is it? The absolute positioning is that G92 or G91? G91S0, right? Which way it's 211. I thought it was 211. Oh, M211, that's what it is. M211 S0. One, 0. Yeah, so that's there. Yeah, that does it. So I need a piece of paper real quick. And it slipped somewhere. There it is. That's negative 1.4. So M851 Z negative 1.4. Oh, everything again. And I'm going to do G1. D0. Right there. So let's do a M500. Okay. Now let's do the print. See if it works. I was thinking my fan shroud's a little too low, and that's a design issue on my own that I might need to figure out. Way to take the paper to use. I just use a piece of printer paper. A lot of people use like index cards and stuff, but I just cut a piece of printer paper down. Probably should load film in this thing, shouldn't I? I'm pretty sure the print's gonna fail though. Honestly, I do. Oh, where's my spool holder at? Oh, that got loose. I thought I had some variation in this. That run now. Jim, yes, that is very true, but this is not so solid, so I need to have the springs on there. I don't have any spacers for it right now, though. And also, I'm just kind of experimenting with this. It's not really final yet. But yeah, this thing is cheap. Jim, this is less than $130 of hardware right here. Legitimately, $127 is what this cost. It's there. Yeah, so you can see it's a cantilever design printer that I designed from scratch. I was inspired. This one, I kind of got my inspiration from the Ender 2, which I loved, which had the 2040 like this and some configuration down the bottom. And from the Ender 3, which has the new Ender, the Ender 3, yeah, has the 2040 upright like this, which brings the wheels a little closer together. And then from the Prusa, which is having the just the rods cantilever style from the Prusa Mini. Is that filming all the way in? I don't even know. I guess the filament wasn't fully loaded yet. Whoops. That's all right. We'll let it go for a minute, see how it goes. Thought I had it near the nozzle. Then again, maybe not. I know I haven't put anything on the flex sheet yet. I just want to see what happens. Andre, yes, it probably could. The problem is there's nothing to anchor this to. I mean, look, this is where the frame ends. That's where the end of the rod is. So the thing on the monoprice is that it was easy to add a small piece there. This piece would have to be significantly sized to attach down here, come all the way out to add that support there. It is possible, but I just think it's a little ambitious for this. Dude, the Prusa Mini, from what I'm hearing, it's not that great. A lot of people are complaining about a lot of people are complaining about the hot end. even though Tom gave it a raving review, many people who have owned one have saying how crappy the extruder is on it, or the hot end, I'm sorry. I've seen that, Jim. And then actually Keith, he's not here tonight, but he's on the Discord. He's building a SKR Mini Prusa Mini clone. See, for me, my Prusa's print fine. Like, I don't really have a lot of issues with it. I don't have any issues with it, really. I mean, I had a fan die on it, and right now I had a failure, so I have to clean off the nozzle, but yeah. That filament's still not up to the nozzle yet. Man, I done boogered that one up. All right, let's stop this real quick. Well, there, it was close. It's not quite there yet. All right, let's try that print one more time. Uncle Ron, what's up? Shenanigans, what's up? Man, tonight took all kinds of weird turns, didn't it? I mean, we went from putting together my clone Prusa to working on the bear again to now having this sucker out. I think I'll be done after this, though. Just want to see if it works. This is with like absolute bare minimum tweaking. I don't have a purge line set up for this printer yet, but that's just another kind of thing I need to tweak to get set up properly. But this 5x5 grid, I have it going nice and slow because again, this printer is definitely not built for speed in any way, shape, or form. This is as light as I could get it. It looks big, but I mean, it's just a fan, a little 30mm fan, and a V6. We're almost there. Quran the Mosquito costs more than this entire printer. This is a $127 printer. Oh, Andre, dude, it's a clone, man. This thing cost me like $5. This is my 3D printer challenge printer. You cannot get cheaper than this. Mosquito price versus Master Crane price. Like literally that hot end costs more than this entire setup. Doesn't stick very well to no build sheet. What do I have this? I got this sheet here. Let's see, what can we do here with this? Got the build tech sheet. Can throw that on one of these, but I need to clean it off first. So let's get rubbing alcohol. I think I got a sheet of PEI for this as well. Yeah, throw a build tech sheet on there real quick. Ooh. Ooh. Dave, there will be. Oh yeah, sorry, Brandon said that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just going down. It's rough though. Like I need people to understand. Like if you print this, don't expect Prusa print. Like don't expect. Honestly, Ender 3 might print better than this. Maybe with some more tweaking, some more designing. I do know there is an alignment issue here with these where back here is, I believe, 1mm wider than here. So I added an extra washer up there in order to try and compensate for that because I have a 1mm washer on here. Or no, I think that, yeah. There's an extra 1mm washer on there to try and compensate for that. I guess that's really my only issue is that. Overall stability's not bad. Could be better, probably. But also, what do you expect for 130 bucks? I mean, you're getting, fair quality prints is one of them. Yeah, so here's one of my early benchies. I had some stepping issues in there. That was kind of solved. And then this is probably my last benchy. A little hard because it's translucent, but you can see from the shine. This is pretty much smooth all the way. There's not many issues here on the cabin. A little bit, but overall, it's pretty solid. Chimney looks great. Again, $127 printer. Can you do better than that? And I designed this. This isn't like, this is 100% my design, purely in Thingiverse, or sorry, in Fusion 360. I'm sure someone with better design skills can do way better than I could. I'm fairly certain of that. Let's see here. Andre, no, this is 170. So was it 172 by 177 by 200? The goal of the challenge was to make a printer with a larger than a 100 millimeter cube build volume. And I know that's a weird size for X and Y, but I ordered a 7-inch piece of aluminum, and it was rough cut stuff, so way too close on this. And the problem is the what's it called is hitting there. Yeah. That didn't turn out anywhere near what I thought it would. So, at least I know the ABO works. It's kind of all I really wanted to confirm. Does ABO work? The answer is yes. I need to tune the heck out of it. It's obviously my quick and dirty bed leveling there didn't work at all. And again, I don't even know if I'm gonna keep this on here. This was just kind of to see, does it fit? This is totally not in that price range at all. This is in that price range. And these mats suck. And they also do not, this sensor does not sense through them. which is a bummer. So it won't. So I guess it's not as sensitive as I said earlier what it was. Um, yeah, it does not sense through the sheet, so that's a bummer. So I think it's more like a 4 millimeter or 3 millimeter sensing distance, just not far enough. No, I like it, dude. This is quick and dirty and effect. There is nothing that aesthetically pleasing about this except I put the logo there and I put my logo here. Other than that, this thing is 100% function over form. Like, I did not make this to be anything super special or cool looking or whatever it is. Hey, Aaron, yeah, you made it for the end. I'm getting ready to time off here. Um, I was just playing around with the auto bed leveling. Got it to work. I just threw on um, the Build Tech flex plate system just to try it out. I didn't stick it to it, but I just kind of wanted to see. And I clearly need to tune my Z offset because it's not good at all. See, I mean, you don't want to make a printer so it looks like crap. Megatron is meant to look good and print amazing. That was the goal behind that design. This design was to be quick, dirty, and cheap, but still print decently for $127. But I like having the exposed extrusion there. I could top it off. I do have I just have to tap it, but I do have this little plate here. Maybe I'll make that. Would that trigger anybody if I put red there? But that would cover it up if I do that. Let me switch cameras for you. Just for you, Andre. So like that. Would you like that better? The bed is heated Ben with a $7 150 by 150 24 volt silicone heated bed. Oh yeah, Aaron. Yeah, the wrong tooth pulley on that, but it's still not working because of firmware. When I preprint Megatron, or I make his brother, the brother is going to be Optimus Prime, and I have the Autobot Blue from Paramount that I'm going to be using on that printer. It's going to be sweet, so it's going to be black and blue. I might throw some white in there, maybe like some of the accent pieces, like maybe like um, the logo 50 millimeter fan cover, maybe the feet, a top plate, maybe something like that. I don't know. I need to figure it out, but I want to make it. I'm gonna do black, blue, and white. I think. I don't have any red PETG that I like. I mean, I have this red PETG, but the color is, eh. I don't have anything a little more vibrant, like like this kind of red. I don't have that kind of red PETG. The big difference between the two of these. This one's just brighter. Would be cool to have that. Okay, well, I think that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. We're almost at 3 hours now. That was a long stream. Longer than I thought tonight was gonna be. I thought tonight was gonna be a little shorter. But yeah, I think made some good progress. At least again, got that put back together. Got the bear. We know what needs done. I know I need to edit firmware, but as soon as Pauline gets me that firmware, I can get on that. And this one, I need some tuning. I need to raise up my fan here a little bit. So I need to redesign my hot end fan because it does hit into it. And I don't like that at all. I think that'll be another night of some tweaking to play with and see if I can figure out how to make a better fan for that. Yeah, that was good fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. We had quite a few people pop in here today, so thank you for coming in and hanging out tonight. I will be streaming again on Monday night, hopefully. If it's probably gonna be for the Bear. I'm hoping to have the firmware, and then we can try the firmware live and see if I can get it to work. If I can't, then I can't. I'm hoping that Pauline's firmware right now it works, but having some issues with homing and things like that. So I don't know. I'm going to talk to her, get that. If you guys want to hang out in Discord when I go through some of this process, head down to the link down there. You can join in. And yeah, that's going to be it. So you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And make sure you guys wash your hands. Happy printing. I'll see you guys Monday night. See ya.